Hello, good morning, everyone. It's Marta. Welcome back. This is gonna be a part two of our beautiful display trinket box, which I am creating. Now, in the last video, I showed you how to do this beautiful box, and this is going to be my base on which I will put this beautiful display. Now, I'm gonna be working on acetate because I want to have some like a kind of a see-through effect, and I think this is just something which add additional elegance and the interest to the card. But if you don't have acetate, you can also work on a regular cardstock and then just cut the circle with the on the regular white paper or any other color paper, whatever you prefer. Now I have this doily here and I've been using the same die over and over again, but it's still lying on my desk. I haven't put it away and I quite like it. And sometimes if I like particular die, I'm just tending to play with it more and more. And even though I've been using it so many times, because I'm using different supplies, different cardstock, different color scheme, each of my projects looks totally different. So don't be afraid in thinking like, oh, I need more elements, I need more die sets. If you have something which you like, just play with it, experiment with it, and I'm sure you'll come up with so many different ideas. And the more you play with one particular die set or stamp set or something, you are actually getting more and more creative with it. And once you work on something, you will start coming up with more and more ideas. So I'm encouraging everyone to check what you have, see which design, which die set or stamp set is sparking the joy in your heart, like you really like it, and then start playing with it and just see if you could come up with 10 projects or something, each slightly different. And this is also a great exercise for, stretching up your creative muscles. Now I cut the circle and here I'm just kind of trying to figure it out, the length I'm needing, because initially I was thinking of cutting the strips from the paper, but it wasn't long enough. So then I was thinking like, oh, maybe if I cut the strips from the beer mat, but eventually at the end I'm just using the cardboard, and I'm gonna cut some strips from the cardboard and then I will join them together so I have the proper length I'm needing. Now this video here, this is actually me experimenting. I had slightly different ideas, but I was running out from the acetate because I wanted to do kind of like card opening acetate style, but I didn't have enough. So last minute I was like, okay, let me see what I can come up with. And then I had this idea of creating this display on top of the box. So here you can see I'm trying to see if this cardboard will be bonding nicely, and if you work it out with your bone folder, you kind of curl it up a few times, it become way more flexible. Now I'm gonna be needing some frames anyway, and I'm gonna cut them from the blue color cardstock. And here I was trying to see, can I cut two pieces on the same A4 size card, but it wasn't large enough. So I've decided, okay, I'm gonna cut this one from this paper. And then I had a very similar paper lying around, which was one-sided, like this one is double-sided and the other one was just one side, and then the other one was plain, but it doesn't matter. They are close enough the color that I could use them too. And sometimes you just have to use what you have. Don't get stressed that one paper is not matching another one. Once you put all the composition together, everything, like add the flowers, add the focal points, it would not matter. No one will notice that one side is slightly differentiated than the other one, especially if the card I am making today is actually like two sides. So it's gonna be a beautiful display which will be looking pretty from both sides. Now, to adhere my acetate, I love using glossy accent. The clear glossy accent, it's not only enamel, which you can add and create this beautiful effect on your elements. But this is a great adhesive which works with the acetate. If you ever struggle that your shakers are coming off and little particles are running out, next time if you're gonna be adhering your acetate foil, try to use glossy accent if you have it. I guarantee to you that it will hold as good as the red tape. However, the trouble I have with the red tape, which I love to use on the acetate, by the way, the red tape is working well, but if you have like square or rectangular frame, it's very easy to put it on, but not so much on a circle. And if I ever have some like a odd shape or something and I need to adhere the acetate, the glossy accent is my best choice because it's quick and it's fast. And sometimes even for the square frames, I tend to reach for a glossy accent rather than the red tape because it's much faster. Okay, so I glue the frame on the both sides of the acetate, so I have this nice finish. And now I'm going to be adhering this little white doily in the center. So I'm trying to more or less decide like, okay, right in the center, and then I am putting it upside down and I'm gonna be marry up the design. And this is something I really like to do whenever I work with this like kind of see-through acetate cards. It's always looking so good when you can marry up the elements and you've got different thing, like sometimes in the wishes. I'm not sure if you ever tried to create the card base with the acetate. They just look lovely, especially if you put some element like focal point on the top the part, and then on the inside you marry up the insert with this interesting like shape. That's just looking gorgeous. I just love it, and this is one of my favorite things to do. Now, I have this little frame, like a circular, print, which is kind of like a baby metrica. I'm gonna be creating the baby card here. So I've placed some name and date of birth, which is in the future. That's, by the way, this is the name of my son, but all the other details are just like, different one. Apart, I think I've just put his real weight. When I give a birth to my son, he was actually 5 pounds. So he was like 2.5 kilograms. So that's what I put there. But anything else is just like unreal details. So I've just put it up just so I could have something for the purpose of the video. Now I'm stacking two pieces together and I use some glue, and then I'm using the washi tape. What I should do, and I'll do that later on, is to cut two pieces of the paper and just use a hot glue to make a joints here. But it doesn't matter. Once I will dress it up with the ribbon, it will be just invisible. The joining area is, no one will tell where these two pieces are joining. Here, to help my stand, like, to adhere nicely, I am chopping up the bottom. When you're gonna do so, kind of have a little think like, how would you like your doily to be, whether you would like to have this 1 point up or double points up. Just make sure you kind of look on the direction you want your doily to be before you chop, so then your doily, it's not going to be under the angle. And here I've decided I'm going to be using two pieces of the paper to actually help it to adhere to my card. Now, here is two pieces. And initially, I was planning to use both on both of them and glue one to one side of the frame and then glue the other one on the other side. But then when I tried to see how they fit, I actually decided to use only one of them. And so here is what I'm doing. I have the long line of the cardboard, two pieces joined together, and now I am taking Grossarian ribbon and I am just wrapping around it. This is gonna be creating this kind of like a handle effect. Like if you ever gonna be creating some Easter baskets, or even for a Christmas one, you can create this nice paper basket filled with some chocolate, some sweets, and some other elements. That will be a great to use as a handle for your box or creation. So I'm just wrapping it around just roughly here and there. A few places I actually add a drop of glue, so that will hold the ribbon in place. And then I am just twisting around and just making sure it's just, one piece of the ribbon is slightly going over the other one, so I have this nice cover up. And I didn't go all the way through because the piece of the ribbon I cut was just finishing here, but it's long enough that will give me enough to work on. So here I am just checking, and this is where I realized that I'm actually gonna be good with one piece instead of it two, which I initially cut two long strips for the cardboard. And now you can see how beautifully it starts looking at. I am just absolutely over the moon with this creation. And one more thing I need to tell you, my friends, and this is, I am so happy. Like last video when I was sharing with you, I said like, oh, I'm so happy, excited. And then I was just talking, everything about the video, and I forgot to share that one with you. And I'm sure that like a few of the friends were asking me like, oh, what is on? Like, what's happening? What is going on? This is not so much with the YouTube or my internet activities, but I am kind of made an agreement with the local library, so I'm gonna be teaching crafts there, and I'm starting my workshops on Monday. So this is why I'm gonna be taking a little break, like a few days probably off here and there, because I need to do some preparation for the workshop. So my videos may not appear as often as I planned initially. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, my friend, and you like my creation, please do so. Please click the notification bell so you're not gonna be missing new videos, because I may be a little bit here and there, especially now when my son is on a summer holiday. He is not in school, so he's staying home with me, and I'm just trying to juggle in between working, between spending time with him, and do all the other things. So that's why I am still a little bit disorganized. I hope that I'm gonna get a little bit more in kind of his schedule once he will get back to school. That will give me a lot more time, so I could plan my videos more regularly. Now, I've cut two pieces of the paper and I've scored them in half, so I could have this little stand which will help me to adhere this acetate. And oh, I already love it. I'm so happy that I actually didn't had enough acetate for my original idea, because this one is just looking great. And this is baby project, but this will be something which you can use for a wedding, for special birthday. Like if you've got like a granny or someone and you're creating that 70 or 80 years old card, like with the birthday, you could put a large number in the center and then have this floral arrangement like I'm doing. So here I have this little baby photo, and this is not my son, like just to let you know. I have this photo from the FREEPIK. I will put the link down below to the page, because this is not the royalty free. I mean, it's free for using, but only if you mention the originator. I think you have to pay a subscription or something to be able to use them freely. So I'm just gonna give you the link down below for anyone to check. So just to let you know that I took this photo from the internet. So here I am adhering it on the little white circle, which was the cutout from the doily, and then I am placing it on slightly larger blue circle, which is the same color as the large circle which is around the acetate. And that way I have these beautiful elements, like they really looking nice. And I thought this is a great way for the baby card, because you can have the wish, you can have this like a photo, and then you can put the metrica with all details, like the baby, the date of birth, like how much it was weight or different things. And that will be a great having the box to store this kind of like a memorable things, like I don't know, know, maybe his first socks or the bracelet, like the babies come out from the hospital, they usually had this like a little bracelet on the hand with the details. So just something, you know, memorable. So I thought the box and display joined together will be a great idea. Now I have this little sentiment, and this is the Polish word which says welcome little one. So I've decided to use that because once I'm now in Poland, I more often get a chance to give my cards to the Polish recipients. So that's why I'm using the Polish sentiment, but you could use whatever you like. And also this will be a great place to put like a name, so you could print it on the printer and create this little banner or something. Or if you like, you could actually put the name on the lid of the box, like on this little strip which is around. You could put some sentiment or details there as well. Here's how I'm kind of adhering lots of layers. I like to squeeze the glue a little bit on my hand, and then I'm just tapping the glue and gluing this element on top of something else. That way I never had the trouble with, you know, getting dirty and trying to wiggle with the glue to put it on the tiny sentiment. This is just so much easier and quicker to do it that way. I am using the hot glue gun to adhere this element, and I've actually put like 4 layers of the blue color one and then the silver one on top. This way the silver is really showing up, but having a few layers with the blue color cardstock underneath, that give me this kind of like a chipboard effect. I also have this die with the banner, which I am placing on one side, and then on the other side I am actually marrying it up, so it's really looking nice. When you know, see the card on both directions, it's just looking beautiful. And here I'm gonna be adhering this piece to my box. And one thing which I've already mentioned in the previous video, when I was creating this box, having this piece of the cardboard on the top of my lid, oh my word, this was just absolutely fabulous. And I feel like when I was working on a lid, and before, when I was doing explosion box or things like that, it was always so hard. Like, try not to push too hard in the center, so that way I'm not gonna be creating that dents. But having this cardboard piece which I've made on the box, it's just a game changer. It was so sturdy, and I could really press on to make sure I'm adhering my elements. Now I am adding a little piece of the glue just right on the edge of the circle frame, with the one with the acetate. I am just oozing out teeny tiny bit of the glue, not too much, so it's not gonna be coming off. And then I am just kind of trying to adhere this handle, like this element I've created with the ribbon, right in the center. So I'm following this acetate circle, and I'm trying to be kind of as equal as possible. One place I did it a little bit uneven, it's just turning to one side a little bit. But my friends, when I'm filming videos, it's so much harder to keep things 100% straight, because I don't have the same view as I would be putting my head over. But because I was filming, I was trying to, you know, keep my head away from the camera, so that's why one side toward the right side is a little bit uneven. But just to let you know, once you're gonna be gluing, make sure you kind of look right over it, not from the angles, and you'll be good to go. Now, here is my trick. If you have any glue ooze out or something, and you would like to have this nice elegant finish, use upholstery string. Go to any places where they sell curtains, things like that. They have those lovely strings which are kind of like a twisted cord. They're very kind of shiny, like a satin look, and they are so elegant. And this is gonna be your friend. I've been using it over and over again on so many cards. If you cut the circular frame or fall and you would like to accent it, I was just putting the string around it. And here, this is a great solution to cover up all the imperfection and have this professionally looking finish. I just absolutely love it. And those strings, they are very inexpensive. They come in different thickness, different colors that you could match up to anything you like. Now, if you have a little bit of the strings from the hot glue, you can grab it, tweezers, and then just take them off, or blow a little bit with your heat tool, and that'll be fine. To put my composition, which I'm gonna be start adhering now, I like to use this florist sizzle. The sizzle is just another of my friend, because it's just helping me to create kind of a cushioning effect, and it's also cover up for, like, you know, the space gaps. If you put in the composition and sometimes you can see you've got the empty spaces in between, the sizzle will help you to disguise them, and it's just give you this nice rich fuller composition, also a texture and an interest to the card, and it's very inexpensive. The small packet of sizzle will last you for a very long, and this is a great way to add some interest to your card. Here I'm just adding a little pieces here and there, making sure that they actually wrap around the sides as well, so that way I have cover up for this joining point of this this cardboard strip which I was creating. And if you have some strings, like, you know, coming off, they're too long, that's fine, you can always trim them afterwards. And now, last but the most fun part of this project is to create this composition. I've searched through my dies, I found the largest floral element, like the leafy element, and I cut it from this kind of like a olive color cardstock, and this is texturized cardstock. It's coming from this like a carbon paper. It's no, sorry, candy core. This is a candy core paper, which is double-sided. One is a lighter, one is a darker. But what I love on these papers, they have lots of different texture. There is a text, there is a different color shading, so it's very interesting look to cut the elements. I also prepare myself a couple of the leaves, which I've painted with different colors of the blue, and then I have those teeny tiny white leaves, which are just fillers to my composition. These are always very interesting look if you've got some die which has this little like a berry or a teeny tiny leaves. They are just great for adding as a fillers. Here I'm adding my flowers, and these flowers, for those of you who haven't seen the video, these were made from the kitchen towel. So it's such a fabulous solution, and it's so cheap and cost effective that I'm super happy of those flowers, how they turn out, and how they're coming. Now, my friends, if you're watching up till this point, please give me a comment. Let me know how is your day, and if you're gonna be creating this this project. I hope this sparks some joy, and you decide to create your version, and let me know what occasion that would be a great idea for you. Like, if you would be making this project, what occasion you would be looking for, like, to create. Now, I'm also cutting a couple more leaves because I had this little gap in the center, so I've decided to cut some additional greenery just so I could extend my composition. And this die, this large leafy die, it was the main leaf, like the one in the center, was too large, so for that I just cut additional one, and then I just rip off the larger one and use the smaller one. So this is just to let you know, if you've got the greenery, not always you have to use the whole die cut piece. Just tear it to the small section and use whatever you like, whatever you prefer, and sometimes you just need this teeny tiny one portion of the die cut piece just to help you out to fill up the gap wherever you may need it. Now, last bit I'm gonna do is I wanted to have something extra to dress up my my element, and then I've decided to create this bow. And I'm using organza ribbon because, first and foremost, this is see-through like my display card, but also I think it's just given this nice elegant effect. and I just like it. I feel like the satin ribbon will be overpowering, but this one, because it's a see-through, it's way more delicate. Plus it has this beautiful edge, like a satin edge on both ends, and I just love it. And I don't know where I have this ribbon from. I've bought the whole reel. I think it was on eBay. Actually, I've bought the whole reel of it, and that was like 25 meters. I still have it, and that was just ages ago. But I'm pretty much sure that, you know, there's plenty ribbons available, so you can use whatever you have. Now, I've made two bows because I didn't want to put one on top, because then I couldn't decide which direction to go. So to save myself a trouble, I've put two of them, and I've pressed one towards the one side and the other one on the other, and then I use this large pearl to actually glue it on both. And here you can see the final look of this project. I think it's turned out really well. I'm super happy with it. Let me know if you like it as well. And of course, don't forget to share the video as well. That will be a great help to my channel. If you could click the share button and post it on your social media, that will help me to reach more friends, and maybe someone would like to use this project. I'm also having the Facebook group, which the link is down below. So if you're gonna be creating something based upon my projects and my videos, I would love to see your creation. So please feel free and welcome to post your cards there, as I would love to see them. Lastly, I am sending you all hugs. I am thanking you for all your support, for your kindness, and watching my videos. Have a wonderful day, my friends, and bye-bye.